Partners in Ministry, a presentation of Josiah White's Quakerdale Foundation, dedicated to growing ministry support networks, introducing people to a cause that connects with their heart, bringing hope and encouragement to our communities as we seek together to serve as Christ served.
Welcome to Partners in Ministry. I'm your host, Dan Smith, and today I'll be talking with Mindy Hadley and Jessica Winter from Quakerdale Business Services. In this interview, we're going to explore their purpose, hear stories about how they are fulfilling that purpose, and answer the question, why did you choose to be a nonprofit? Welcome, Mindy. Welcome, Jess. Thanks for joining me today.
Thanks, Dan.
Yeah, thank you.
In a previous interview, we learned about the ways that Quakerdale Business services their clients. But today, let's talk a little bit more about your purpose. Let's hear some examples about how you're fulfilling that purpose. And then finally, we want to answer that question, why in the world did you choose to be a nonprofit? Are you ready?
Yes.
All right, here we go. Let's start with you, Mindy. What is Quakerdale Business Services' purpose?
That we've really thought that question through, and we've determined that our purpose is really to help people. We feel like God has called us to help as many different organizations as we can. Back when we started 5 years ago and everyone split off into their own organization, everyone was figuring out what they wanted to do and how they wanted to serve. And it's really boiled down to, we feel like we're called to help. And the organizations that we work with are also different. We have to be adaptable to them. And if we have the mindset of we're just here to help, let's figure out what your problems are, then it just is so much smoother for us.
Sure. When we use the term organizations, most of the time, we think about nonprofits, churches, religious organizations, that kind of thing. Is that all that you serve, or do you serve more than just organizations?
We help small businesses, nonprofits, individuals, all different types of people.
Oh, okay. Can you give me some examples or an example of how you serve an individual?
Do you want to talk about Darlene?
Sure. Yeah, so we've had multiple people that have came to us. The majority of the time, we work with individuals that want to start a nonprofit. So there are lots of people that have an idea, they have a dream, they know their own hearts and their mission and what they want to accomplish, but sometimes it's hard to put that onto paper, especially when you're trying to, apply for a nonprofit status. There's lots of documents and paperwork and things that you have to file with the IRS and with the state of Iowa to be able to obtain a nonprofit status. So we've had multiple people that have came to us that we have definitely helped them create their business, start with a plan, start with a budget. And then we also have individuals that sometimes, you receive something in the mail from the IRS or from the state that says, your nonprofit status has been revoked because you've not filed this specific form. And we've had a couple individuals that have came to us and they're in a panic because they're like, I don't know what I did wrong. And so we work with them individually to help them figure out what happened, figure out what needs to be done to, reactivate their nonprofit status so their organization and the mission that they want to accomplish can continue on.
Sure. It was really interesting. I did a Google search here probably a year or so ago, just curious about how many small nonprofits are in the state of Iowa. I can't remember the exact number, but it was hundreds. And I thought, holy cow, what an opportunity to serve, because most small nonprofits, especially ones that are started by individuals, they're really, really good at ministry, but not so very good at the administrative processes that have to be done in order to stay alive as a nonprofit. So I'm seeing that that's really kind of a big niche that you found, is to be able to help these small nonprofits or individuals that are starting nonprofits then.
Absolutely. And then there's sometimes where, individuals or organizations, if they don't know how to do it, sometimes they just sweep it under the rug and they just don't. And so we're there to help pick up the slack and help do the things that they don't want to do or don't know how to.
Sure. So I also heard then that you also serve some businesses, for-profit businesses. Can you give us an example of how you're doing that?
Yes. A good example here local, we had an organization that needed to hire a manager. They're run by a board and it was just a volunteer board and they don't have a lot of time. They actually found out from us on other video that they watched of ours and reached out to us and said, hey, can you help us with our hiring process? So we created a job description, we advertised for the job, and we helped them with the interview process. and then get that person hired to go ahead and start the manager position that they were looking for.
Sure. So if I'm a business or an individual or a nonprofit and I could really use some administrative help or some services like this, do I have to live near where you are?
You don't. That's what's great with the internet. You don't have, we have a client in Chicago that we do his accounting for. So, and something else to point out is like for this local business, it was just a one-time project and we're done. Like we're not, if they need us again, we'll gladly help out, but it was just a one-time thing. We need you for this. We helped and now they're doing great.
Okay, so you can serve either for a project or the long term, like helping out with bookkeeping or something like
Yes,
that.
definitely.
You can do both, and you serve an individual, you serve nonprofits, and you serve businesses.
Yes.
Wow, that's pretty awesome. So as you look towards the future, where do you see Quakerdale Business Services in the next 5 years? What would you like to see happen?
Oh man.
Definitely growth.
Right? Yes.
You know, our main mission is to indirectly help children and families by working with organizations, helping them do the things that they struggle with or the things that they have to take a lot of time in doing. By us helping them with their, bookkeeping or HR or payroll services, they can take that off their plate and they can spend more time working on the individual passion that they have, the mission that they have in helping the communities that we serve. And that's really our main goal. And so adding to our list of clients and just allows us to help more kids and families in the communities that we serve.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, if you are a business or an individual or a nonprofit out there and you could really use some help with the behind the scenes, get her done, bookkeeping, administrative type of stuff, and you absolutely hate it, here's your answer. Give them a call. Their contact information is right here on the screen, or you can see it in the show notes for this episode on our website. And then you can also find it in the description of this YouTube video. So Jess and Mindy, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you, Dan.
Thank you.
And we look forward to hearing some more stories about how you are assisting people with the administrative processes. So, and again, thank you guys for listening. And until next time, let's get out there and serve as Christ serves.
This has been a presentation of Partners in Ministry, a podcast of Josiah White's Quakerdale Foundation. To learn more and see the show notes for this and other episodes, visit our website. To stay informed of up and coming broadcasts, subscribe to our e-newsletter. To invest in our mission, donate today.